Our project is on Rocky Mountain Corn Lily by Kit, Kiana, and Liv. Rocky Mountain Corn Lily is also known as Veratrum californicum, Western False hellebore, and skunk cabbage. The habitat is mostly found in mountains in northwestern and Pacific northwestern regions of the United States. It grows best in moist and open meadows and hillsides at an elevation of 5,000 to 11,000 feet. It is a native perennial plant, so it grows back every year. The appearance of the plant, it can grow up to 4 to 8 feet tall. It has small greenish-white star-shaped flowers that appear in July and August. The plant produces seeds in September. It also has a leafy stem and broad oval-shaped leaves. The toxicity of the plant, the whole entire plant is toxic. The roots are 5 to 10 times more poisonous as the leaves and stem. Toxins form when it grows and continue until the plant is killed. Toxicity in the plant tends to decrease as the plant matures, and the toxin is known as cyclopamine. Animals that are affected are sheep, chickens, cattle, and goats. It most commonly affects sheep, though. This is because sheep and goats tend to actually eat the plant, but cattle will only eat them if other plant sources are scarce. Some clinical signs of the plant that you would see if it's ingested by an ewe would be they would be present after 2 to 3 hours after eating, and if they eat about 6 to 12 ounces. The common symptoms would be excessive salivation, gastrointestinal irritation, body weakness, irregular gait, vomiting, irregular heartbeat, shallow breathing, and in severe cases, coma, convulsions, and birth defects. Death is rare for an ewe. The most commonly affected things would be happening to the newborn lamb, and they would have problems such as monkey face, which would be a protruding lower jaw, undeveloped upper lip, proboscis-like nose, and they could also have something known as cyclopia, which is a single eye that would form in the middle of their head. They could also have shortening of the metatarsals and metacarpal bones, and they could have also something known as tracheostenosis, which is a reduced number of tracheal rings that could be reduced in size and shape, could have irregular spaced, and they could have abnormal orientation, and that could cause problems with breathing, and that means that if an animal was born with this, they would die shortly after birth from asphyxiation. The prevalence of this plant, it's commonly found in the southwestern Idaho and Rocky Mountain area. It was first discovered in 1950s when scientists were looking into complaints in Colorado about lambs being born with one eye. They discovered that the cause of this was cyclopamine toxicity from ingesting the Rocky Mountain corn lily. The most recent reports of this were in Lilburn, Wisconsin.
The hedgehog and smoothing proteins focus on the positions of the eye. The hedgehog protein determines the middleness of a cell, and the smoothing protein relays how strong the hedgehog signal is to the inside of the cell. So the stronger the signal, the closer to the middle of the face the cell will be. During embryonic development, the smoothing protein is sent from the developing brain to signal the hedgehog protein and how to position the eyes on the face. A stronger signal indicates the eyes will be closer together on the face, and a weaker signal indicates the eyes will be farther apart on the face. Cyclopamine, the most toxic agent found in corn lily, interferes with the signaling between the hedgehog protein and the smoothing protein, causing cyclopia. The systematic effects are during the 14th or 15th day of gestation, ewes that have ingested corn lily have been known to give birth to deformed offspring. The 3 telltale signs in the deformed offspring of corn lily poisoning are the lambs will only have one eye, the lambs are generally oversized, and the lambs generally have oversized heads. If the ewes ingest the corn lily during this time of gestation, there is a slight possibility that the poisoning from the plant can cause abnormal development and absence of the pituitary gland function in the ewe. This absence of the function can add up to 6 weeks to the overall gestation time, resulting in the fetus growing too large, causing dystocia, ultimately killing the ewe. If the ewe ingests this plant on days 28 to 30 of gestation, the poison can cause shortening of the lamb's metatarsal and metacarpal bones. Poisoning of the ewe in days 30 to 33 of gestation can lead to the development of closed or constricted throat passage, cleft palate, and tracheostenosis of the offspring. These defects can cause the lamb to die shortly after birth, providing it is born alive in the first place. Ewes carrying deformed fetuses may fail to lamb at the end of the normal gestation period. Signs of parturition will disappear, and the fetus will continue to grow to an abnormal size and eventually kill the ewe unless removed. As far as treatment, there's really no treatment for the lambs, but ewes can receive treatment based on the symptoms they are expressing. The best prevention of corn lily poisoning is to keep animals away from corn lily during the first trimester of the pregnancy. At all possibilities, delay breeding until after the first killing frost is away because the plants will die and lose toxicity. Substances you can apply to kill the plant are applying amine salts 2,4-D at the rate of 2 pounds per acre after the last leaves have expanded and before the bud stage. A second treatment may be required the following year to make sure all of the corn lily has been treated. Instead of amine salts, you can also apply pichloram pellets at 1 pound per acre also.
The estimated cost of the outbreak, it would cost to eliminate the plant from the lamb, and it would also from the land, and it would also cost for the loss of the lamb. For example, if one lamb costs $120 and 60% of 100 of your pregnant ewes are affected by the corn lily, you can expect a loss of $7,200 from the $12,000 you would have made. In conclusion, the Rocky Mountain corn lily is found in the northwestern and Rocky Mountain areas of the U.S. It mostly affects sheep, but it can also affect cattle and chickens. The causative agent cyclopamine interferes with the signaling between the sonic hedgehog and smooth end proteins. This interference causes cyclopia in the offspring of the affected animal. Ewes that have ingested the corn lily during the first trimester of gestation experience embryonic death or produce lambs that have monkey face feature, cyclopia, shortening of the lamb's metatarsal and metacarpal bones, etc. There's no treatment for the lambs, but the ewes may be treated for the symptoms that arise. The pasture should also be cleared of the corn lily by the use of amine salt 2,4-D.
Does it stop?
It will. I'll trim it off.
Okay.